Okay, we got a question from Kyle. We have a female listener, Kyle, here. I hope this finds you well. It does, and thank you for asking. I've been pondering a question for a few months. Pondering, I tell you. And it finally occurred to me, you may have some experience with this. Pretty much everything I have done at an elite level, particularly in my younger years, was fueled by having something to mentally push against. It might not be healthy. No, no, it's not. But what does health mean sometimes? Um, it's the optimal interplay of the human organs. So if you're talking about mental health, I understand that too. But issues at home, the wrong relationships, toxic competitive environments, and so on can be really fuel excellence. Yeah, it can. And I hate to say this to you, Kyle, but um, it's a rare elite athlete I've ever worked with that had a normal home life. Something almost always happened. I've worked with some genetic superstars that it was so hard to convince them to actually work harder. They didn't have that. They didn't have the drive that others did. Um, when you're young, you don't know how to get out of those situations, so you just channel the energy into something else. Exactly. Now I am healthy and happy. My personal family life, work life, community life, and financial stability are all pretty great. Well, good. And by the way, don't ever forget the connection there. There's a bit of an if then, and I'm no therapist, but those early challenges have set you up for your success today. And embrace that and hold on to that. It's a conversation I have with my friend Patrick a lot. He'll Patrick's a good dude. He'll point out these flaws that I have. You know, and one of the things I'll say sometimes, yeah, I get that. Yeah, I know. Normal people don't do that. But normal people don't step up to 402 pounds and try to clean a jerk it. Normal people don't snatch 300 in meat. Normal people don't throw the discus 6 hours a day for years. Um, but I tell you one thing, it sure teaches you some skill sets. When you're 64. What I have found though is that there is an inverse relationship between my general overall well-being and the energy to do anything at an elite level. I'm working on finding that wellspring of energy in order to work from a place of happiness. My current thoughts is that a person needs to find deep clarity on what they are working towards rather than what they are pushing against. But I'm very curious about this thought and matter. I gotta tell you, I'm not, and I'm sure some jackass is gonna say something negative in the comments because idiots always do. Um, but once again, Kyle, this is that 5-2 assignment that's in the gold course over at the university. This is what's helped me so much. Yeah, I have these massive. I'm not. I have these massive financial and physical goals still at age 64, and I'm looking down the line to really be a benefactor to many people, um, financially, and of course with my coaching and some other things, my writing. Uh, that's why it's so important to make sure you go. Okay, does what it, I look at it as building bricks. Okay, we're building the Great Wall. You know, every day is a brick, and I work to make tomorrow always. I work to make today better by when I worked on it yesterday. This is my list of things I need to do. This is my to-do list for today, and I always start. I always start this day with my to-do list tomorrow. I make coffee. It's funny. Everything I have on my to-do list is right in front of me, and then every today I have that little pirate map, and then every 2 weeks or so, or 2 months, depending. Well, actually both in my case. I sit back and I say, okay, where am I on this little progress? And then uh, I can look at this assignment and say, okay, 2 years ago when I was 62. When I was 62, it's funny. I feel like I've made massive. I feel farther ahead. I mean, this is an obvious point, but I feel farther ahead at 64 physically than I did at 62. I feel like I'm in better shape at 64 than I was at 62. I feel like I have more things together now than I did then. And then of course there's so it's the 2 decades is the big one. You didn't mention your age. So it's 2 decades, 2 years, 2 months, today and tomorrow. 2 decades, 2 years, 2 months, today and tomorrow. Okay. It's called the 5-2 assignment, and it really helps me. And if you can find someone you trust to do the assignment with, it's illuminating. I have people do it at the RKCs, so and because I've already built up some bonds in the hours and days together. If you can't find anybody, call me. We'll do it together because I love these refresher courses. But it's got to be somebody who's a cheerleader for you, someone who likes you, someone who respects you, someone you can trust. Yeah, how do you say this nicely? Spouses aren't always the best because those relationships have so many levels. Um, I don't. Mentors don't always work well. Um, it's got to be someone who's kind of, and it can be someone who's in the worst condition of their life, who's doing terribly financial, who's having a horrific time, because that person might be very helpful with the whole thing, reminding you of how far you've come. Uh, Kyle, I hope that helps. I always enjoy answering this question, and it's just a joy hearing it from you.